going to be talking about React. It's going to be just an introduction, not going to do too much of a deep dive. Today we're going to talk about why you want to talk about React in the first place. Why I want to talk about React right now. Then we're going to go over just the general overview of what it is and some key concepts about what makes React React. Why React? Why now? Why am I talking about it right now? I'm presenting React Native, which is built on top of React at that conference later this year in August. And React knowledge is a very necessary part of talking about React Native. So this is a chunk of my talk at that conference. It's definitely work in progress, and I modified it this morning for this presentation today, so it will actually make sense in a kind of cohesive part. But this is definitely part one of a multi-part series on React Native. React overview. React was created by Facebook in 2013. It is a UI rendering JavaScript framework. Not quite as all-encompassing as something like an Angular or an Ember. Just a UI rendering JavaScript framework. Very small, 28 kilobytes, and fast. With emphasis there on fast. Because that's the whole point, right? They don't want it to be too bloated or anything like that. They just want it to be responsive and behave quickly. Key concept for React is unidirectional. You're going to hear a concept called flux. It's kind of an important thing in the React world. You re-render the portion of the page on all changes. So you're actually rendering it again. Not tiny little updates or whatever. You're re-rendering a portion of the page. You have a virtual DOM. There's a DOM, which is huge, and then there's a stripped down virtual DOM. That's very key to React. They have synthetic events. There's a lot of eventing going on in your browser, but not everything matters in the React world. So they have a stripped down virtual document object model, or synthetic event model. Idempotency and immutability. These are probably words you hear in interviews, that kind of thing, and you maybe look them up once, and then you forget about them. React rendering. If you have been doing a lot of web development in the last couple of years, you'll notice things like with Angular and Knockout, you'll notice a lot of two-way data binding, things like that. Observable collections are a big thing. They have been for a few years now. That's all gone. Throw it all out the window. The JSX is an XML-like renderer. It's optional, but it's kind of important. It's going to be pretty commonly used. You'll see why when I show a couple of examples. Components. To create a component, you say react.create class, because of course we're going to create a component, you say create class, right? That makes lots of sense. Yeah. So it's a class-like thing, but they want to make sure that you understand that it's a component, right? So that you understand the verbiage. I think they probably should have called that create component. Whatever. Every component implements a method called render. So it explains what you're going to display. It takes data and it tells it how to display the data. Props, there's a collection of immutable data. Immutable meaning you can't change it. State is your mutable data. If you really need mutable data, state. On the components, you create a component, make an instance of it. That instance got props. You got yourself immutable data. That instance got state. It's immutable data. Flux. Flux is a different way of thinking about things. It's kind of like MVC, but it's a little bit different. In MVC, you have the two-way thing, right? Going back and forth. But remember, React is one way. So you have a slightly rethinking of MVC. You have actions, tell a dispatcher of some kind to do something, which can access the store, right, and display a view. Now, in the view, you can create new actions and start the, you can click a button or whatever, and it can start the cycle all over. General overview of how to think about what's better. Here's an example of React, very, very simple. You'll notice the script type here, text/JSX. That says, hey, JSX writer, treat this a little differently, and you'll find out why. Var I, that's going to be my class, right? React.create class, my component, sorry. And it has a render function, like I was mentioning. And what it does, it returns div pi this.props.name. right? You'll notice the mustache brackety thing from Angular and all that. But wait a minute, that's not cool. How's this gonna compile? Well, I put this on JSX record. It knows how to read that and says, okay, you don't need to quote that all out. I get it. Kind of cool, right? And then you say react.render, and you notice we created a new HTML component, right? Hi and name equals this. So what happens is all of the attributes become part of the properties collection, the props collection, right? So name equals this, that means this.props.name equals this, right? This div will say hi this. Get it? Great. Target node is wherever you want to place it. Maybe a body tag, maybe some main div, that kind of thing. Virtual DOM. In memory, that means fast, right? Synthetic events, very few events, stripped down version of it, right? Very performant, because that's in the memory and it's stripped down. It'll be very fast, a lot faster than the typical DOM. DOM kind of crappy to work with, right? Small memory footprint, very, very small, helps you with the speed. And it updates all the change items on update. And also, since it's all virtual, it's all in memory, very testable. Great, you can test all your events. Fantastic. Synthetic events. We're going to kind of update our example here. We're going to throw in an update function, right? And we're going to put that on the on change. This is that update. So if anybody changes the text, we're going to fire this method. What does this function, this method do? This dot set state name equals e.target.value. So the value of this input now becomes the name property of the state collection. Make sense? Great. I'll have more time to explain this in the greater cup. So when you're developing with React, great thing is you can use whatever IDE you want. You don't have to use Visual Studio. You don't have to use Xcode. You don't have to use Eclipse. Stick with whatever you want. Stick with whatever you like or you already have a license for or whatever's comfortable for you. You can use a very basic IDE, something like Notepad++ or Sublime or something like that. You can use a free IDE because you don't want to pay for anything, right? Or you can use a web app-oriented one because we're looking at JavaScript, HTML stuff, right? WebStorm is good thing, a good suggestion because it has JSX support. You'll actually understand. It's not going to throw up a bunch of errors like a lot of the other IDEs. NuClide is a new IDE from Facebook. I'm an early access guy, so I can tell you that it is definitely geared toward React and React Native. So React takeaways. React helps you build very fast and responsive apps. Because of that, it's perfect for mobile websites, which don't respond as well as applications, native apps, right? It's very good for hybrid apps, like PhoneGap type stuff. There's actually a framework called react.js that I've used. It's really cool. And it's built on top of Cordova and React. Very cool. Very good for cross-platform, which is why Facebook created React Native. And it seems to be, in general, the way that the web is going. Away from Angular, Ember type, giant frameworky things, and sliding more toward the Flux type pattern. So it's definitely something that I would say
do it.
a little, yeah, starting to do that. Angular's already not going to start it. So it's definitely something that I would pay attention to if I weren't already doing so. With that, I'm going to turn it over to our customers.
Thank you, Vince. Next, I'll